Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in today's second video. We're going to have a look at the ECMWF extended model for today's second video, focusing on the UK and Ireland, looking at mean sea level pressure, 500 millibar heights, temperature and precipitation anomalies for the next 6 weeks. That takes us well into December. It doesn't quite get us to Christmas, but not all that far off it. So you're going to find out in a moment what the EC extended is showing today for the next 6 weeks. I shall get on that for you in a moment to say that the first video release was our 7 AM forecast. Got Jamie Friday coming up for you in a moment, or very shortly. So that's going to be your monthly look at with Japanese and CFS V2 models. And if all of that wasn't enough, we're going to have a 10 to 14 day with all of the regular features. And if all that wasn't enough, Pub Run Live is returning. Can you believe that, everybody? We're in GMT, so you can start live streaming the GFS 18Z aka Pub Run, and we'll be doing that for you after 10 PM tonight. So I shall see you live then. Bit of Friday night fun with the pub run. Okay, so let's have a look at the EC extended Ben. I'm going to start off with the week 1 mean sea level pressure anomaly. This will take us from the 8th to the 15th of November. Looks quite anticyclonic next week, so plenty of high pressure coming up across the northern and western parts of Europe. That's a mild position for the ridge as well, with low pressure up here, and there you're going to be pulling up wind from the southwest, so mild but reasonably dry next week. The 500 millibar height anomaly for week 1 looks like that. High pressure over the country, over UK and Ireland, and Western Europe. Low pressure out in the Atlantic and to our north. Again, we're going to be bringing up a mild west-southwesterly wind. With that, temperature anomalies look milder than average for the UK and Ireland. Next week, you're going to have above average temperature. Most parts of Europe look quite cold, actually, under that area of high pressure. Just perched on the very edges of Europe, Ireland and the UK come out milder than normal. And of course, high pressure, well and truly established, going to be pretty dry as well. So a mild and dry week coming up next week for Ireland and for the UK. Week 2 will be the 15th to 22nd of November. We begin to pull the high pressure out to our west. So high pressure is on the move. Maybe a little bit of a hint of... a little bit of a hint of retrogression, possibly. That didn't really work, did it? Never mind. High pressure pulling out to our west and possibly starting to bring in a bit of a west to northwesterly type flow. Could that be a little bit colder? Could it? What do you think, everybody? Let's have a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly. So getting colder for northern and northeastern Europe with this trough of low. That's going to really bring in very cold air to the northeast Europe. We're on the periphery of that. We're going to get high pressure further away from us in towards Greenland. But it could be a little bit cooler anyway, with winds in from like a northwesterly direction. Week 2 temperature anomalies look like that. Definite cool down going on. It's not going overly cold, but it's definitely cooling down in week 2 compared to week 1. Most parts of Europe looking quite cold as well, you will notice. And the week 2 precipitation anomaly still dry on average, especially so for more southern and southwestern areas. So that is still largely drier than normal, actually, but it is starting to get a little bit colder. Right, where does that high pressure go next? Let's have a look at week 3, which will be the 22nd, 29th of November. So it doesn't go north. If everybody thought that was going to get to Greenland, it doesn't. The high pressure just sort of sits in the middle of the Atlantic, and probably we start to re-establish a westerly flow on that mean sea level pressure height anomaly. The 500 millibar height anomaly still sort of has the above average heights just to our west, so we might be able to bring in something a little bit cooler from the north. But the cold weather, I think, is with this trough just here over in the east and the northeast of Europe. The temperature anomaly, though, is a little bit cooler, actually. So very gradually, incrementally, week by week, there's a little bit of a cool down that's going on here, actually, across the UK and Ireland. And the precipitation anomaly has no particular signal. But you would have thought with the Atlantic blocked off, it's probably going to be relatively dry. So this might actually be quite a dry November, which is something we haven't had for quite some time, I don't think. Week 4 will be the 29th of November, 6th of December. If you're enjoying this video, please smash your like button. If you want to make sure to subscribe to our channel, you'll be able to see future weather content if you do that. And tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. And drop a comment, let us know if we can get this and our videos. Right, week 4 will be the 29th of November, 6th of December. So December starts anti-cyclonic with high pressure coming back, strengthening again over the UK and Ireland. We've probably got low pressure up here. It's going to be a mainly dry start to December. Could be quite cold under that area of high pressure. I expect the model will probably show relatively mild, but I reckon, you know, that high pressure centred more or less over the top of the country. That could be quite a cold start to December. Frost and fog. Anyway, that sort of thing. Above average heights dominating from the Atlantic into Europe. The temperature anomaly, you know, look at that, the temperature anomaly goes above average because the model won't be able to see like low level cold. So if you start getting frost and fog and inversions at high pressure, the model won't really be able to pick that out really. And it goes drier again actually. So a dry anticyclonic start to December. Could be cold from frost and fog. Week 5 will be the 6th to the 13th of December. How's that one looking? Still large sort of anticyclonic type signal, really, across most of Western, well, not Western Europe, but across the UK, maybe extending towards Low Countries, Denmark, and out into the Atlantic. Yeah, some hints are there, aren't they? But there could be, like, quite a lot of high pressure that week. 500 millibar height anomaly might be trying to take that high pressure away from us again to our west, actually. So, you know, we keep seeing this, that the high pressure tries to go west and north, but doesn't quite make it, really. So, again, we're kind of on the periphery, probably, but like a northwesterly. It could be northerly. It's plunging in through northern Europe. We'd be on the edges of that again, with the position of the ridge. With temperature anomaly, if anything, could be a little bit on the cooler side. So no signal for anything excessively mild, actually, once this week is out of the way, or next week. Once that's out of the way, there's no signal for anything particularly mild. Often sort of near normal, no signal, or maybe even a little bit on the cold side a lot of the time. And in terms of precipitation for week 5, that's how we look. So again, largely dry. It looks like it's going to be quite a dry sort of start to the winter, doesn't it? Right, week 6 then. This is going to take us just towards Christmas. This is going to be the 13th to the 20th of December. How is this one looking? I'm sure you're on tenterhooks. Here it is. So, I think that's quite interesting. Certainly for Scandinavia, it's quite interesting. There's a trough of low pressure in over Scandinavia. Also got some low pressure down here, hinting at like a negative NAO type thing setting up. No particular sign of blocking anywhere. There's a little bit of pink there, but that's not enough to get excited about. But with the low pressure sort of in over Scandinavia, you will probably be expecting to pull in some sort of coldish type northwesterly to northerly into northern Europe. The 500 millibar height anomaly looks like that. And that looks rather different, actually. That's not as good if you want cold weather before Christmas, because high pressure only more towards the south. The trough is in over Scandinavia, but it does suggest probably like a westerly type thing, setting up maybe a little bit northwesterly. The temperature anomaly should go milder, I think. Yes, it does. So we see the temperature anomaly going milder there for northern and western Europe. That's because of the more of a west-south-westerly influence. Precipitation maybe gets starting to go a little bit west as well. So before Christmas, probably getting a bit milder, if anything, and a little bit more unsettled as well. Of course, that doesn't get us to Christmas. That just gets us to the 20th of December. Next week, actually, next Friday, I think it will be, we will be able to show you Christmas with the EC Extended. How exciting will that be? Wow, 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 wow. That will be very exciting next Friday. That will get us into Christmas period, just about, I think. Right, so I want to take away from that. Clearly, it's going to be very mild next week, and a lot of dry weather as well for the UK and for Ireland. Probably quite a lot of dry weather carrying on into the second half of November, but it does look as though it gets a little bit colder as we go along through the month. But then into early December, probably, you know, mainly dry and potentially quite cold then as well, under high pressure. Could be a switch to something a little bit milder and more unsettled later on in December, running up towards Christmas. But that is a very, very long way out. And it is unreliable. What I would say is there's no sign of anything excessively mild once next week is out of the way, but neither is there any sign of anything really cold either. There's not much northern blocking going on here. There's no real signs of like Scandinavian highs or Greenland blocking, that type of thing. So perhaps all very sort of much of a muchness, very typical perhaps really for late autumn, early winter with this week's EC Extended. Anyway, that's how it looks. You'll find out a little bit later on how the JMA and CFS V2 models are thinking about this for the next 4 weeks. Will they be in agreement or will there be disagreement? You'll find out in today's next video, in today's third video. And then we're going to change to 14 day coming up for you after that. And we're going to be live streaming at 10 o'clock with our first pub run live of the season. So I shall see you for that, but more uploads to come through the rest of today. And for this one, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.